Alright, so I got OBS streaming. I got the OBS recording. And it looks like we're live. Right. It's a little more difficult to figure out when we go live with this new system, but I think we got the audio fixed. I think we got everything else fixed. Well, I do like that it's against the Steelers, so I'll give it a pass, Thomas. All right, but anyways, this is episode 137 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. The Bengals and Browns both won this week. And it was such a relief for me. I imagine it was for you too, Thomas, because of the whole Nick Chubb thing last week. For different reasons, of course, it was relieving to win. Because it always feels good to win, right? Unless people win in Pittsburgh, because why, Thomas?
Because Pittsburgh, tiny baby hands ass Kenny Pickett, AB out here catching out a case. Oh, they all suck. You suck, Pittsburgh.
Damn right.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
I hope we're not talking. Okay. All right. I think it played. It doesn't play it on my end on the intro. So I hope it played right. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You know what I want to do before we get into this like bullshit? I want to go on YouTube and just make sure we're streaming because I'm paranoid now. Let's see.
Why are you doing that?
It's working. Unfortunately, my audio does appear to be echoing like on the other end. So I thought I fixed the audio. I only fixed it on my end. That's stupid. That's maybe if I turn my mic off and then it's only coming through OBS Ninja. I wonder if that works. Hold on.
You know how stupid is or stupid us.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, my audio does appear to be
you can hear.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah, it's uses the ears. Anybody else liking this rewind of what we just talked about?
Maybe if I turn my mic off and then it's only coming.
Oh, that worked. Turning my mic off worked.
You know,
from what I can hear on YouTube, I think it worked. Okay.
I just like hearing my sexy voice.
Okay, well, I'm glad you like hearing your own voice, Thomas.
That's why I rap.
All right,
so play my voice back.
So we took a minute, I think, this time to figure things out, which is less than the last couple episodes. We're almost there, guys. We're almost fully through this transition. We're getting it together. But anyway, welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast. We're both in fairly good moods because the Bengals season isn't over. And guess what? The Browns season isn't over. Oh, and guess what? Thomas is probably in a really good mood because I don't know if y'all have heard about these rumors that Davante Adams is in Cleveland and looking for a trade. So I'm going to let you go ahead and just tell me your thoughts.
Wait, hold on. He's in Cleveland.
Yeah, he was at the Cleveland airport.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me confirm that on Twitter. I don't want to fake news everybody, but I saw right here. With trade rumors flying around Davante Adams, he's now been spotted at Hopkins International in Cleveland. And here's a picture of the guy, the Twitter thing. That's Davante Adams in the Hopkins International Airport.
Well, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, tell us how you really feel, Thomas.
You know. This has been great. I've been sitting here. I remember during the off season. I was always very quiet. Look, I ain't gonna say anything because nothing's written in stone yet. So we already know. So let me just keep my mouth closed. But Brown got the most cap space in the NFL right now. So there's that. But here's my thing, though. Is that our defense looks really fucking good right now. A above average offense. We could be really fucking good. Damn it, Nick Chubb! Ah!
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I mean, I was skeptical about a lot of things, but I'm not gonna lie. That Browns defense looks insane right now. Like,
it's pretty good, actually.
and by the way, like not to like we're gonna keep talking about the Browns, but I just want to point out, you know who else's defense actually looks pretty good?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Bengals is actually pretty good. I think I've been complaining on my streams about the Bengals defense because I've been like, oh man, they look like a team that, like, if the offense doesn't score like 30 points every game, then they're not really going to get anything. You can't win with this defense. But I actually looked at the numbers. The Bengals defense is top 10 in every major category. So the Bengals defense, that's how bad our offense has been. That our defense is actually playing really well. And despite that, like, our offense is playing so badly that it makes the defense look mid.
Yeah, no, I think our defense played well. I mean, I thought you guys did a good job of containing Lamar a couple weeks ago. I mean, y'all did a good job of. I mean, honestly, I just think that it's weird about Lamar because I feel like every single time Lamar plays the AFC North opponent, they get better at playing him. It's almost like people are starting to learn more and more about him. And see, we're gonna go to Ravens in a second, but no, I think our defense is good. I think our defense is solid. I think you guys got a very solid defense. They get timely stops.
Oddly enough, you know whose defense? Holy crap! You know whose defense actually hasn't been very good statistically?
Ravens.
No, the Browns. Like, y'all's run defense statistically has been terrible. You're like the fourth worst rushing defense in the NFL.
Wait, how? Oh,
you've given up the fourth most rushing yards in the NFL. Now your pass rush is good. But your actual pass defense is kind of mid. According to the stats, you've allowed 678 yards passing this year, and that's right about middle of the pack for the NFL right now.
Okay. So, like,
which is also about middle of the pack.
Wait, how many passing yards? How do we allow 600 yards passing?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm trying to think here because so I know Kenny Pickett had 200 yards. A lot of that from Pickens. Pickens had like 140 or 200 yards.
I mean, that.
And then I know Burrow had like 97. And then
did he even have 97?
Something crazy like that. And then that's what I'm saying. And then Tannehill, he couldn't have passed for more than Tannehill could have hit 200 yards last week. And I know Henry didn't do anything last week either.
Well, let me check. But I'm just going off of the official NFL like NFL.com team stats. And
are you looking at 2008? Are you looking at? I mean, because like I've been to every single one of those games this year. I just haven't seen a lot.
This is for 2023, dude. Like I'm not making this up.
Maybe okay. Maybe you're right. I just haven't. You're probably right.
I think what it is the Browns have allowed a consistently okay passer every single game. Most teams this year have either allowed. Oh my God, the Dolphins have allowed the most passing yards in the NFL, and that's including, well, I was going to say including going against the Broncos. But you know what is actually really interesting, Thomas? And I don't want to get too much on Russell Wilson and the Broncos until
get into it. Get on it.
But I do want to point out real quick that Russell Wilson's actually been really good this year.
Yeah,
the Broncos' defense has been horrendous, but the Russell Wilson's thrown for over 300 yards in both the last two games. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Russell Wilson's looked kind of like the old Russell Wilson. It's not Russell Wilson's fault. The Broncos are trash.
It is Sean Payton's though.
Well, yeah, Sean Payton is clearly a horrendous head coach. Like, I genuinely thought Sean Payton was going to improve things there in Denver. And it turned he's just made things like Like as bad as you can make things, he's made things that much worse. He's almost as bad as Urban Meyer right now. Now, obviously not all time, but if you just isolate, like if you pretend that Sean Payton in Denver is a different human being than any other Sean Payton, then he might be up there with Urban Meyer in terms of being a bad coach.
That's music to my ear. Okay, so getting in on these Browns, I do want to say a couple things about the Browns. If we got Devontae Adams, that really help our offense. But the biggest story for me from the Browns game, I saw that Myles Garrett getting 3.5 sacks. Mm-hmm. He's a wrecking ball right now. Deshaun Watson looked good, and if you allow Deshaun Watson, you know what it is, Kyle. You know what it is that the Browns are doing, that they're allowing they have the most third down stops. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're leading in. There's some other stuff they're leading in, but they got some insane statistics out there for the Browns right now in defense. So I ain't worried about the Browns defense at all. But Deshaun Watson looked good, man. He looked good. And what's crazy about him is the one thing about the Chubb injury is now that Chubb is out, he's not under center as much, so he's more in the shotgun. That's where he's more comfortable in when he played in Houston. And I don't know if that's it or not, because I compete better with Chubb. I ain't causing that conspiracy. But, dude was throwing dots. Like, he went 27, 33 or something crazy like that? No, he was throwing passes. He was throwing completions so accurate that players were literally wrapped up and getting called pass interference, and they were still catching it. There was also a play where Mark Cooper was called out of bounds, but he didn't step out of bounds. That was BS. But he looked good. Watson looks good. He looks like he's coming back in form. And going to the Ravens game, the Ravens defense not really that impressive to me, honestly. And I think Deshaun Watson will have another game. If he does, we might be looking at 3-1 ball call.
It's quite possible. I will say one thing about Deshaun Watson. And Mikey, by the way, I see your comments. We'll address those in a second. But as far as Deshaun Watson goes, Deshaun Watson played really well against the Titans. And the thing is, if the Browns got Deshaun Watson going, then y'all are dangerous, okay? Like, even without Nick Chubb, you guys are probably going to have a fairly strong running game. And Nick Chubb is an amazing running back, but I think he's partially made to look a little bit better than he is, because you guys have had such a strong offensive line, and have had for a very long time, by the way. That's been one of the things that's been like a bright spot for the Browns for years, has been their offensive line.
Thank God for that.
And I'm not saying Nick Chubb isn't a great running back. I'm saying that offensive line is partially is part of what makes him look great on a consistent basis. So I don't think the Browns are going to have any problems with the running game, even without Nick Chubb. If Deshaun Watson is playing really well, and that defense is, I'm not gonna lie, like that defense scares me. And I just looked at the stats. I was shocked that the Browns are statistically such a mid defense. But I guess I don't know. But the Browns defense looks really, really, really good, man. And I didn't actually see the Titans game, but the Browns defense looks really, really good. Deshaun Watson, the only thing I'll say is let's see him play like that against a better team than the Titans. The only thing the Titans have going for them is Jeffrey Simmons. And the Browns have a good defensive line. So, I'm sure Deshaun Watson had, enough time to throw.
Well, I will say this. The looking at that schedule, though, looking ahead on the schedule, and I really don't like playing schedule game right now, but that schedule gets really easy, man. Like, the Browns schedule, you guys probably got a similar schedule. Like, we got the Ravens and the 49ers. That schedule is really easy, man. I mean, we're playing teams like the Bears, Broncos, the Cardinals, and the Jets. If those are like
two games are against the Cardinals and the Titans.
And then they get Texans. The Texans didn't look that bad, but the NFC is not as tough as we thought it was.
Yeah, actually,
we thought they were worth it.
Yeah, Mikey just pointed that out. He said the AFC is overrated. And I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you, Mikey, because both me and Thomas actually came on here like a couple weeks ago, and both of us said the AFC isn't what it was last year. So no, the AFC isn't overrated. The AFC just isn't.
Not us.
You know, this year. I don't like. I mean, I think if anybody went into this season expecting the AFC to be as dominant as it was last year, I think you got the wrong idea. Honestly, like. You know, I mean, part of it is you've got like the Bengals are struggling, and they were supposed to be one of the big juggernauts of the league. The Chiefs have been on and off. The Bills have been on and off. So I mean, part of it is the teams that are at the top just haven't been like they've all gotten off of somewhat slow starts. Now
who's overrated?
They're all picking
Josh
up. Yeah, Josh Allen's pretty overrated, but we knew that. We knew Josh Allen was overrated. Now, I'm not going to lie. I like Josh Allen. I think he's a damn good quarterback, but I don't think he's elite. And people act like, he's like the reason that the Bills were so successful for a few years there. And it's like, yeah, he was really good, but the Bills put such a team around him, and they're still putting a team around him. It's like Josh Allen is like a more talented Andy Dalton, really. Like if you put a great team around him, he will succeed. But if you make him do too much, then he's going to like shoot you in the foot.
I think the best way to measure a quarterback nowadays is, are they better or worse than Kirk Cousins? Or are they better or are they Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, that used to be Andy Dalton. I'd actually say I think Kirk Cousins is a little better than the midway point. Like I think Kirk Cousins is a top quarterback.
Exactly. So Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. So I see this thing on TikTok where there was like the NFL is full of Kirk Cousins. There's unathletic Kirk Cousins. There's black Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Prescott.
Yeah,
I got to. Yeah. That means. So I think Kirk Cousins is a great benchmark about making quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback. It's just that like Patrick Mahomes and then it's Kirk Cousins type thing.
So Mikey asked the question. He said, "Who will survive in our division?" And I mean, I think we're both going to have different answers on that one, Mikey. Like I still. See, here's the thing. And this would actually, we can talk about this a little more in a second because it's a good transition into talking about the Bengals because we mostly talked about the Browns.
I like this. I like this question.
But I mean, like, I think the Bengals are about to get a lot better, guys. Like, honestly, like, I think, you could see the biggest problem we had last week against the Rams was that T. Higgins just was like horrendous. And then there was Joe Burrow was kind of adjusting and stuff like that. But like once things kind of got going, it was pretty good, and that defense was really impressive against the Rams. And they had their drives that pissed me off. But the more I think about it, the more I think that it's kind of unfair to like look at the defense and be like, look at how bad you did on this one drive because the offense is constantly putting them in shit positions. So it's kind of unfair to expect like it would have to be like, a combination of the 2002 Bucks defense and the 2000 Ravens defense to be what we really need right now in Cincinnati because of the way that the offense is. So
I think the Bengals. We just talked about the schedule. I haven't looked at the Bengals schedule. But I have an idea what it is because we're in the same division.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys. I mean, y'all only 1-2 anyway. It's not like it's like the end of the world. I mean,
we lost 2 in the division. That was the problem.
Yeah, that's the killer. That's the killer, though. That's the killer. But I mean, I still play everybody twice. So it's not. It really isn't a killer. Like it's still early enough. Y'all still pretty much control your own destiny.
Well, we started 0-3 in the division last year, and we came back to win the division. So obviously, it's not a killer, but it's definitely problematic. Like,
yeah, I mean, because I still play everybody twice. I haven't played Steelers yet. Steelers might be in first place by the end of the week. I haven't played Steelers yet, and y'all still play us again. Y'all still play the Ravens again. I think I'm going to be this next time for y'all.
We got a week 7 bye, and so our next 3 games, we've got the Titans, trash.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Cardinals, booty trash, and then we got the Seahawks, which the Seahawks are trash. Good. I'm just no, they're 2-1. The Seahawks are good. I'm just not. I'm not 100% sure about them. They won a close game with the Lions. But like the Lions, the Lions beat the Chiefs in week 1, and since then I don't think that the Lions have been all that impressive.
Me neither.
And then they beat the Panthers in week 3, but it's the fucking Panthers. So it was the Andy Dalton Panthers, I believe, actually.
Damn, Bryce Young was so easy. Our schedule was so easy. I think we played the Panthers too, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you play? I can't. I don't know why you would play the Panthers, but we don't play the NFC South this year.
Who do we play? Who do we play? All I know is we got some dubs on our schedule. I'm like, yeah, that's an easy win. No, do we play the Panthers? No, we play the Saints. No, we play the Saints. We play the Saints. That's what we play.
You play the Saints?
We play the Saints. Yeah, because you know how it's 17 games, right? Isn't it 17 games, and then you get like a the 17th game is like the conference that you're 17th game is the conference that you're like even with. So like the divisions that have the same record. So like if the AFC North was like the second place division, they'll play the second place division in NFC. I think
the 3 of those games are like that, but I don't think that's the NFC South. I don't think the Bears played the Browns or the Saints this year. According to Mikey, you don't play the Saints.
Okay, maybe we don't play the Saints. Maybe I have the schedule wrong. Do y'all play the Saints?
No, we don't play. We don't play anybody in the NFC South, nor do you. You got the Ravens, then you got the 49ers after the bye. You got the Colts, Seahawks, Cardinals, Ravens, Steelers, Broncos, Rams, Jaguars, Bears, Texans, Jets. That's your schedule.
Who do we? And then Bengals. Yeah, they all. It's a pretty easy schedule, man.
Well, depending. I mean, so like
the 49ers are gonna whoop our ass. The 49ers are gonna whoop our ass. But like, go. Can I answer Mikey's question real quick before we get too far away from this? I did like his question.
Yeah, the question about the AFC, about the division.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I think that you guys are going to rebound. I still think I'm not ready to say the Browns are going to win the division yet. I think the Bengals are going to win. Gun to my head. You guys are only a game behind us, and we play on. So I mean, they're going to that game, and y'all can beat us that last week of the season. So I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about Joe Burrow getting a rhythm. He'll be fine. I don't know. Injuries scare me, but he looks like he's handling it. He's managing it. So, he looked like managing it out there, honestly. But I still think. The Rams aren't an easy opponent, which I beat them, but they're not a hard opponent. They're like middle of the road, honestly. Sam, Matthew Stafford's not what he used to be, but they're still a solid team. They're still a well coached team that's secure in prime now. So I think the Bengals are going to be. I think it's going to go Bengals, Browns, Steelers, then Ravens. The Ravens going to finish last in the division. I'm sticking by that.
I'm still convinced the Steelers are going to be last in the division, and I think the Steelers aren't. I'm not saying they're going to be like 2-15 or whatever. I think they're going to be like a healthy 7-10 or something like that. But I just don't believe in there, especially because of Mike Tomlin. They're not going to do too terribly bad because he always gets some stupid ass wins out of nowhere. I just don't. I don't believe that they're going to win a whole lot of games based on talent this year. It's going to be purely those just stupid games that make no sense that the Steelers are going to win this year. And I think that's going to average out to about 7 wins this year. And I think the Ravens are going to be in the playoff hunt because they always are.
I just don't think the Ravens are that good this year, man.
I don't think
I
they're
just
that
don't.
good. I just think they're scrappy. I think this whole division's scrappy.
Yeah, that's AFC North. But I mean, the Steelers had the defense. They got really good defense, and they got a extremely good receiver because that boy Pickens is showtime. That boy Pickens, nice. that receiver they got is man. That receiver they got in Pittsburgh, man. That kid, nice. I like that kid. I like that kid. And it kind of bells out Kenny Pickett a little bit because he has that kind of receiver. Kind of sucks. And when you have a defense like that, like you said, they could sneak a couple of wins here and there. That's why I think the Steelers are better than the Ravens, man. I gotta give them respect. I just don't think the Ravens are good,
But
man.
Zay Flowers has been damn good for the Ravens.
I don't know, man. They just lost to the Colts.
They did lose to the Colts, and they lost to
Y'all should have beat them.
Minshew's Colts too. No, we should.
Y'all should have beat them.
We totally, we definitely should.
The Ravens should be
we were really close.
The Ravens should be 1-2 right now, honestly. If y'all had a healthy Joe Burrow,
we should be 2-1 right now. We're not. But that's part of why I think the Bengals are going to be okay. That's why I think the Bengals are going to get better. Because again, we should be 2-1 right now. Like we were really close with the Ravens, and we just barely missed winning that game. And like Joe Burrow looked horrendous in week 1, and he's looked on and off in week 2 and 3, but he's looked better in week 2 and 3. And you can see them kind of building and doing something. The first half of the Rams game was terrible from an offense perspective, but it got better in the second half. If T. Higgins wasn't playing so badly, then the Bengals might have, scored like 24. The Bengals could have probably gotten the 30 if it wasn't for just T. Higgins. Honestly,
Joe Mixon was bad.
Yeah, Joe Mixon's looking pretty good. I mean, we'll see how long that lasts because wear and tear over the season, and we can't, rely on him forever. But, Joe Burrow over time, hopefully that he feels more confident on that leg. I think part of his problem is he's not super confident with planting it, and that's where some of the accuracy issues are coming in. But like I said, next week we got the Tennessee Titans, and if we can just do something about Jeffrey Simmons, then I think – we survived Aaron Donald, so why can't we survive Jeffrey Simmons, So, I think there's a good chance we win that game. And then we got the Cardinals. I don't see any reason to fear that. Like the Cardinals. Once again, I feel like the Cardinals beat the Cowboys, which was insane. But I still feel like they're a
Josh Dobbs, baby,
type of team.
Josh Dobbs, baby. I just don't think, man. Look, I'm actually not gonna go to the game this weekend. I really want to see how bad I'm not gonna see the Ravens in person this year. I just don't know, man, because the Ravens, to me, they just don't. The Ravens, to me, man, they just something about the Ravens just bothers me.
Well, yeah, something about the Ravens bothers me too. Something more bothers me about the Steelers. That's what I'm saying. Something bothers me about the Ravens, but it's the same thing that bothers me about the Ravens every year. Like they're going to get off to a good start, and they're going to trick a lot of people, and then they're going to kind of fall off near the end, which is what they always do because they don't really kind of have that cohesion. And I mean, especially with their luck with injuries, it's going to fall apart like it always does. I really do believe that. But you see, the thing is, the Bengals actually have quite a bit of games before they play another division opponent. That was kind of the nice thing about getting 2 of the division games out of the way is now we've got a long stretch before we have to play a division opponent. So we got, Titans, Cardinals, Seahawks, 49ers, Bills, Texans before we have to play the Ravens next. And honestly, other than the 49ers, none of those teams scare me. Obviously the Seahawks and the Bills could be tough games, but we never struggle with the Bills. And then you got the Texans, which look like they're upstart, but that remains to be seen if that stays. I'm not sure if I buy the Texans just because they beat the Jaguars.
Well, I'll tell you this though. I will say this though. Side note, I read this in the second time I seen this. 'Cause I got the NFL Network one. I just see you scrolling on the sideline. Just reminded me because I read this report earlier. Deshaun Watson, he didn't throw in practice today because because of arm fatigue. I don't know. That kind of concerns me just a little bit. Is that like is that a normal thing?
I've
That quarterback
literally
get
never
arm
heard of
fatigue?
that before.
Okay, that scares me.
Like, is that like?
It said technically his right shoulder, but they said that they wanted to just give him a rest and throw in practice.
Is that like load management in the NBA? I'm
I
not.
don't
I'm
know,
not sure.
man.
I'm not sure. I like.
I don't like. I don't like it either. I don't like it either because it's right arm. Like I mean,
Well,
I've seen him.
I'm not concerned from an injury.
I mean, I didn't see him get hurt. I didn't see him get hurt with Sunday.
I'm just saying you pay a guy like that much money, and he's doing load management. Like this isn't the NBA.
The money thing with Deshaun Watson. It's always the money thing with Deshaun. Like you can't have a 5-minute conversation with Deshaun Watson. Like, well, they're gonna pay $30 million. Oh, god damn, man! Why does everybody in the mama knows how much Deshaun Watson get paid? Like I can't tell you how much my own daddy makes, but I can tell you how much Deshaun Watson makes.
I actually don't know off the top of my head how much Deshaun Watson makes, but I can tell you
$30 million.
Well, see, I'm sure you know all about it, but so here's the thing about that though, like that's what you signed up for when you pay a guy that kind of money, and when you get paid that kind of money, that's what you sign up for. Like we all know how much Bill Gates makes. And why do people like, oh, why are people all in like football players' business, but like we're allowed to be in like, Bill Gates's business financially? Like, I think honestly, if you make that kind of money, you just have to accept that people are going to be like, at the very least aware, and in a lot of cases critical of how much you make.
No, I'm just saying, and it's always mentioned in the Deshaun Watson conversation. Like, no matter what, like when we talk about Patrick Mahomes, we talk about Patrick Mahomes. When we talk about Joe Burrow, we talk about Joe Burrow. And don't get me wrong, people do joke about Joe Burrow being the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Yes, they do. I will give you that, Kyle, before you interrupt me. Yes, they do make that joke when he loses. But every single time you bring up Deshaun Watson, it's like the $230 million quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Well, goddamn, he just changed his number from 4 to $230 million.
Well, okay, so frankly, Thomas, if Joe Burrow got $230 million and then, basically was useless for the entire year and then, didn't really look very good to start the next season, obviously he looks good now, but the first 2 games didn't look very good for Deshaun Watson. And so, and the whole last year did not look good for Deshaun Watson in the parts that he played in. So, like, I mean, yeah, if Deshaun Watson starts playing better, then you'll probably stop hearing about the $230 million. But the fact of the matter is, y'all paid him that money, and it's almost been a year and a half now, and you haven't seen, like, the payoff for it. So, yeah, people are going to talk about that. If Joe Burrow continues playing badly, you're going to hear all about the money that Joe Burrow makes. But the reason you've only heard a couple jokes about it so far is because it's only been, like, 2 games.
Well, here's the good thing about it. Here's the positive news. The good news is that the first year we only paid him $1 million. They backhanded the fuck out of that contract.
Yeah, well, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they did. They knew what was coming. They knew what was going to happen. Well, it was kind of obvious.
There's no way they were going to give him that kind of money to, and I think he understood. There's no way that, like, you can ask for that kind of money when you're not actually on the field playing for most of it. We all knew what's going to happen. Yeah. And then there's also all the questions about, like, he hasn't played in a while. Is he going to necessarily be good? And then there's all the character issues, and I'm not just talking about the legal issues. I'm also talking about, like, NFL owners don't like it when players stand up to the teams and refuse to play. So the Browns got to be thinking about, right. I'm just saying the Browns. I agree. I applaud Deshaun Watson for standing up to the Texans. I think that was a great thing. I applauded Carson Palmer when he did it, until he started talking shit about the fans, and then I'm like, okay, fuck you too, buddy.
Yeah. Fucking Carson Palmer. Yeah.
Exactly. Fuck Carson Palmer. But
got dirty hit by the Steelers.
When Deshaun Watson stood up to the Texans, I was like, yeah, go Deshaun Watson. And then the other stuff came out, and I'm like, well, maybe, I'm going to stop talking about Deshaun Watson for a while. But my point is, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve a bunch of money because he stood up to the Texans. I'm saying I wonder, I wouldn't think that NFL owners would be totally keen to give him a bunch of money because he stood up to the Texans. Because they're like, what does that to me?
That makes sense.
NFL owners are a tight-knit little boys club, so
they are. A lot of stuff is.
Yeah.
That's a shot at something else. That's a shot at something else.
Yep. All right.
Just like this Oreo.
Let's see. We've been going for about a little over half an hour. You want to jump into
we should probably go on these predictions. Yeah, let's get into predictions. I say everything I need to say about the Bengals and Browns.
All right, let me go ahead and bring up these predictions. And Thomas, did you ever get around to renaming your fantasy pick'em league or your pick'em?
No, but I did make picks this week though.
I'm glad you made picks, but would you mind going in there and changing the name so that I know which one you are? Because there's two people who just chose basic default names, so I don't know which one's yours.
The one that got the one that got 8 games picked is me.
8 games picked?
Yeah.
Okay, so got the Battle of Ohio podcast. Wait, 8 games?
Yeah, it's like 8 or 9 games picked. I think I missed the first.
Okay, well, see, here's the problem. There's 2 profiles that have generic, basic ass names. Well, actually, shit, there's 3 now. There's 3 now. One of them hasn't picked anything, so I assume that one's not you. But the other 2 each only have 16 games total picked.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of those 2.
Okay.
I definitely missed. I thought I did. So I did get the first week. That's the first week. I missed week 2 because I was so centric on going at games for the Steelers. I wasn't even thinking about picks. I was too my fault.
Either way, you're either 10-5 or 10-6 on the season. So
look at that. Look at that. I'm only 10-5 or 2-6.
So right now in first place in our league is Majestic YT, and then there's then I'm second place, and then we got another person who didn't name their thing in third place, and then we got Galadez. I actually think that's Mikey. Mikey, you didn't name your team either. So maybe if you want me to know who you are, you might want to go in there and name your team. But Mikey, I believe you're in third place. Galadez, you're in fourth place. And then Thomas, you're either in 5th or 6th place. I don't know which one you are.
Shout out to 5th or 6th place.
Yeah.
Where's Joe at, man? Which one's Joe?
I don't know. I'm assuming Joe's probably one of them. Unless Joe didn't actually make any picks, because there's somebody who signed up and didn't make any picks.
Yeah,
so that could be Joe. But
no,
anyway,
Joe definitely made his pick. Joe definitely made his picks last week. He definitely made his picks last week. He definitely got that done.
Just out of curiosity, I wonder how I did. Looks like I got. I picked the Saints and Packers wrong. I believed in your team, Mikey. I picked the Saints to win that game, and y'all disappointed me. What terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. You know what game I was right about last week? The Broncos.
Do what?
I was right about the Broncos last week.
Well, yeah, I picked the Dolphins too.
Yeah, they did.
So.
Yeah.
All right. I picked the Vikings over the Chargers, which I literally don't care about that game. But just for what it's worth, I picked that game wrong. Jaguars over the Texans. I think we all picked that game wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected the Texans to win, especially not by 20 fucking points. Mikey, I don't know exactly how to change. If I had to bet, you probably click into your profile. There's probably go to the settings or something. Yeah. So you can if you click on your thing, and you go into your entry for the Pick'em group, and then there's a little gear icon on the top right of the main part of the screen. If you click that, it'll let you change your team name. So yeah, I think we all kind of were wrong about the Texans and Jaguars. I picked the Ravens over the Colts. So for what that's worth. Hey, look, it's Limitless. He's one of the people who showed up in my Grossi rave from the other day. But we got Limitless, who's a Chargers fan, and Thomas. So Thomas, say hi to Limitless.
Funny story about the Baltimore Ravens game. We'll get into predictions in a second. Funny story about the Ravens game. After the Browns game, I'm at a bar. All the Browns fans celebrating after we beat Titans. Game's on. Ravens versus Colts. Ravens are on overtime. They Tucker just kick. And then the Colts come back. And then their kicker lines up. Who's the kicker for the Colts? Matt Gay. So the whole bar was like, let's go Gay. Let's go Gay. Let's go Gay. Omar, let's go Gay. The only time I recorded because I'm going to cancel.
I don't think that would get you canceled these days. It would probably get you probably get you a bunch of likes.
Yeah, we were like, shout out to the Gays. Cool, shout out to Gay, man. Gay did his thing, man. Gay, everybody gay.
Yeah, he sure gayed it up.
He gayed it up.
Okay. I picked the Cowboys over the Cardinals, which obviously was wrong. Raiders over Steelers, which was close, except Josh McDaniels forgot how points work again. So I guess that was my problem. And then I picked the Bucks over the Eagles, and that didn't work it out at all.
The Raiders so bad.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this week's picks then. And so for anybody, by the way, Limitless, I don't believe you haven't been. Although I don't know, I think I sent it out in my game stream. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the link to the Battle of Ohio podcast Pick'em League in the chat. And if you want to join, there's a link. Go ahead and join. But we're going to go ahead and go through.
Get these picks, man. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get these picks. All right.
Comment section. What team you think is going to win?
Yeah. If you Mikey and Limitless are the two people I see in chat right now. So let me know who you guys think is going to win when we talk about the games. And I'll put you up on the screen. But anyway, so first game, we got the Detroit Lions going to Green Bay to play the Packers. Who you got?
I'm going with the Packers. I really like what I've seen from Jordan Love so far. I actually added him to my fantasy team, my bench. I dropped just Justin Fields to add Jordan Love. Jordan Love, and one thing I always measure on quarterback is their ability to throw touchdowns. Yards are empty stats, but if you ever throw touchdowns in the red zone, that shows great patience with you. Jordan Love's been very nice in the red zone. So I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah. I'm really kind of split on this one because I like both teams, and I also am kind of hesitant on both teams. But I'm gonna go with the Lions because I'm not sure. I think I'm a little less sure on the Packers because the Packers are 2-1. Yeah, Jordan Love has looked better than I think a lot of us thought because up until his first real start in the NFL, he hasn't looked good in any of the actual playing time he's gotten. So the fact that he looks good now is, I think, a little surprising. But so yeah, I don't quite buy the Packers right now because they won the one game, and that was that was impressive. But let's see what's the I don't want to talk out of my ass here. But the game against the Saints in particular, they were getting smacked by the Saints, and then they had this big comeback, which you got to give them credit for. But it's an unsustainable way to win. So I don't buy into a team because they win that way. I'm impressed. It's probably fun for a fan base to win that way. But they just the previous week lost that way to the Falcons. And if you're going to lose to any game, if you're going to lose to any team in comeback fashion, doing it against the Falcons has to be the most embarrassing team in the NFL to do it against. Because the Falcons are normally a team that does that.
Yeah.
And then week 1 they slaughtered the Bears, but it's like it's the Bears, right? The Bears, we know now the Bears are horrendous. And also it's the Packers against the Bears. The Packers have owned the Bears for the longest time. So I mean, my perspective is like I'm not overly impressed with the Packers. Yeah, they beat the Saints, but they barely beat the Saints. And you know they lost in the same fashion to the Falcons. So like I think they're kind of mid. I think the Packers are kind of mid, and the Lions. I believe in the Lions. You know, like I don't think the Lions are as good as I thought they might be this year, but they're still pretty good, and I think they're better than the Packers. So I'll give them. I think I'm going to take the Lions in this one. Limitless agrees. Limitless says Detroit by a field goal, and that's about how I feel. I think it's going to be a close game, and it's going to be decided by just a couple plays here and there. Mikey says Packers, so we're all kind of split on this one.
Shouts Mikey. I was like that kid. I was like that kid.
Yeah. All right, next game we got the Jaguars and the Falcons. So the Jaguars obviously kind of reeling right now. They're 1-2, which I don't think a lot of people expected. A lot of people expected them to be better. And it unlike the Bengals, the Jaguars don't appear to be getting better. The Jaguars appear to be getting worse.
I don't know how to feel about Jaguars.
Up against the Falcons, by the way, who have looked a lot better than I think a lot of people expected.
Hey man, that's Denver, man. He hasn't been bad. You know that Cincinnati quarterback, UC quarterback.
Yeah, he played for UC.
Yeah, man, he hasn't been bad.
The year, he played for UC before I got there, so I was not a UC person when he played there. But now, as a UC person, as a UC student, I can officially say, go Desmond Ridder. Rep well. Like imagine if Nathan Rourke was like leading an NFL team, Thomas.
We are Big 12 school now. Y'all Big 12 school now.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure if that matters because a lot of the really good teams in the Big 12 all left, but
no, it matters because y'all still Power 5 conference. If you win the Big 12 starting next year, you can get an automatic bid to the playoffs.
Hey, that's something. That's something.
Yeah, you get a chance to win the college football championship. You win the Big 12, so it still matters.
Mike, you changed your name to Hurricane Mike. All right. Well, I will. I'll check where you're at here in a second. Once we're done with these predictions.
Shout out to Hurricane Mike.
So who you picking, Thomas?
I just said I'm taking the Falcons.
Oh, you're picking the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons.
Mikey and Limitless are both picking the Jaguars, and I'm gonna.
It's in London. Wait, hold up.
It was so actually it's in London. You said.
Wait, is that the game in London? No, that's not the game in London. Never mind. No, I was looking at the wrong game.
Never mind. Damn. Yeah. So I was about to say if it was in London, I was going to take the Jaguars, without hesitation. But shit, I don't know, man. It is in Jacksonville, so I think I'm gonna go with the Jaguars, but like I'm not confident in the Jaguars right now at all. I picked the Jaguars last week, and it bit me in the ass. So Mikey says it is in London.
Wait, is it?
I guess I don't know. If it is in London, I'm definitely going with the Jaguars because
I don't have my laptop in front of me, so I can't look at it right now.
The Jaguars are bosses in London, so I'll take if it's in London, I'll take the Jaguars without hesitation. But I'll take the Jaguars anyway. All right, so next up we got the actually I'm looking at it right now. It says the game's at 9:30 a.m. So the only reason I can think that would possibly happen would be if it's in London.
Yep.
So I guess that game is. So I'm definitely taking Jaguars then. All right. So next up, you got the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. What you got, Thomas?
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins. They just put up a 70 piece, and the Bills look very vulnerable right now. So the real question of the game is how often is Stephon Diggs going to scream at Josh Allen on the sideline, man? Yeah. Okay. This is. I gotta make this joke. This is gonna be a race joke. I gotta make it. Because Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs is like. Never mind.
They're like an old married couple that's headed for divorce.
Well, yeah, not just that, but it's just funny because Josh Allen, because Stephon Diggs just be like giving Josh Allen the biz on the sidelines. Like you can see it, man. Bitch, you don't got no heart. Like you see it, man. Hey, Josh Allen just okay, okay, honey, all right, honey, and Josh.
Yeah.
So here, biz, man.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna take the Bills in this one. But I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think it's gonna be a damn good game. Because here's the thing: like the Bills didn't look great in week 1, but in week 2 and 3, they slaughtered their opponent. Like they got off to a slow start against the Raiders, and they still beat them 38-10. So
that's true. But they are the Raiders.
I'm gonna take the Bills. But like that's no disrespect to the Dolphins. But at the same time, like the Dolphins scored 70. We all know it that happened, and you can't take that away from them. But they also did it against the Broncos. Like the Broncos defense is just a joke this year. Like they traded away Bradley Chubb, and ever since then, the Broncos just have not had a defense worth half a shit, honestly.
They got rid of Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, they traded him away like last year. I think they traded him to the Dolphins, actually.
Oh yeah, I do remember that now.
It's the only good player they have on defense anymore is Pat Surtain, and he got burnt a couple times against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I wanted Bradley Chubb. You know, if I could go back and find my Facebook post, I wanted Chubb and Chubb. I had Chubb and Chubb combination. I wanted to get Bradley Chubb.
I'm sure you did. Like I can imagine.
No.
I was actually worried the Browns were going to take him.
I do have a Facebook post with me saying I want the running back out of Georgia, Nick Chubb. I have that. I can probably, if I could find it, I did say I wanted a second round running back because I was big on this. Don't take a running back in the first round. People was like, don't take a quarterback. Take Saquon Barkley. The Browns take Saquon Barkley. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? I want a running back and not one ball. We get a running back in the second round. I'm like, you know who's a running back in the second round? Who's this guy? Nick Chubb. This guy. Get this guy.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree. I did the same thing with Giovanni Bernard back in the day, and that's part of why I have his jersey as the like centerpiece in my studio. But like I'm always about taking running backs in the second round. I will say I was against the Bengals taking Joe Mixon in the second round when they took him. But part of I wasn't because of like the legal troubles or I didn't like Joe Mixon as a runner. It was purely because at the time we already had Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard, and I'm like, dude, we're good. We don't need Joe Mixon. And then Jeremy Hill turned into a little baby poo-poo bitch. And now Joe Mixon is like an amazing running back all these years later. So I guess fuck me, right? I guess fuck that. Like, don't listen to me and my analysis.
Yeah, nah, I won't.
All right, game of the century, Thomas. This next game, like I know it's we're all. I'm just gonna dispel any tension here. I know this is all the one we're tuning into. We're all buying NFL Plus subscriptions to watch this game and this game alone, and it's the Broncos and Bears.
Damn,
isn't that terrible?
Damn.
So who's gonna win this one?
Well, the Broncos, only because, like, you said that Russ hasn't been playing that bad. He hasn't. Mm-hmm. And I just think the Bears might be the first ever 0-17 team in NFL history.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but I do agree with the Broncos winning. And I do agree with it's because I think Russell Wilson's playing better. I think it's going to be enough against the team as bad as the Bears.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, I do like oh God, who's the coach there in Chicago? I like them better than Sean Payton, so they do have that advantage. It's Matt Eberflus. I'm not a big fan of Matt Eberflus, but he's better than Sean Payton, so they got that going. But I'm going to take Russell Wilson here. And I think they're going to win this game. But I think it's going to be like 2-0, something terrible. It's no. Okay, don't let me lie. It's either going to be 2-0 or it's going to be like 63-61.
Yo, if that game's 2-0, I'm going to be dying. I won't be dying on my couch. I'll be like,
Broncos win 9-3, and I can see that. That feels like the right score for this game, 9-3.
No, I think I'm with you. I think it's gonna be a lot of offense this game because I don't think your team defense is gonna do anything.
That's true. It's probably going to be more offense than it's going to be defense because, I mean, like at the end of the day, Justin Fields may not be anywhere near like the first round hype and everything like that, and he's just another example of Ohio State quarterbacks that don't work out in the NFL. But he does have talent, and the Bears do have some weapons, so they can probably do well against the Broncos defense. So it probably actually will be a high scoring game now that I think about it.
Yeah, no. All
right. So we're skipping over the next two games, and then we're going to go to the Los Angeles Rams and the Indianapolis Colts.
The Rams and Colts.
Here's the thing.
The Colts look bad.
Yeah,
Colts look bad last week. I'm actually gonna go with the Colts.
Yeah.
Who's on?
Colts.
Who's on?
Colts.
I'm going with the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Colts.
Here's the thing. If Anthony Richardson plays, he's I believe he might have come out of concussion protocol, so he might play.
Yeah, I think I just seen that.
I think the Colts win. And I don't think it's going to be much of a contest. But if Gardner Minshew plays, I mean, obviously Gardner Minshew got it done. Don't get me wrong. But if Gardner Minshew plays, I think it's a much tougher situation. The Colts, the Colts don't have as opportunistic of a defense as the Bengals do, and part of the reason the Bengals held the Rams to as few points as they did is because of turnovers, right? So I don't know if the Colts are gonna quite cause as many turnovers as the Bengals did, and so I think the Rams might have a bit of a higher scoring, a slightly less dysfunctional offense than they had against the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it really just comes down to Richardson. I really like Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to be probably the best quarterback from this most recent draft class.
Okay.
But again, if it's Gardner Minshew, I'm not sure. So I'm going to tentatively go with the Colts. But I mean, if it turns out Anthony Richardson's not playing, then I claim no responsibility for this one.
Okay.
All right. So next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New Orleans Saints in New Orleans, and I know what Mikey's going to say. So we already know his answer. But what about you, Tom?
I don't think Derek Carr is playing. I think we're going to get a Baker Mayfield versus Jameis Winston matchup, which is going to be fun.
Mikey says Saints.
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
You going with Tampa Bay? Yeah, I'm going with Tampa Bay too.
Baker doesn't look bad. Even last week, even last week against the Eagles, watching the game with the Eagles. No, because I was watching the game with the Eagles. It was a lot of drop pass. The biggest problem is that he don't put touch on that ball. I was thinking that, I was like, man, the reason why, there was one play where he threw it and it went right through Mike Evans' hands, and you're like, damn, that's a drop ball. But then I thought about it. I'm like, Baker threw that ball 100 miles per hour. You can kind of see it. He didn't have to throw that ball that hard to him. And that's kind of Baker's problem. It's stuff like that. It's small stuff like that against Baker. It's just he's good. Baker's a slightly worse Kirk Cousins.
I will say this could also be a Jameis Winston revenge game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the NFL.
Yeah, it's also Jameis Winston. But here's the thing. By the way, Mikey, just for what it's worth, don't take it too personally. This is more or less a Baker Mayfield stan podcast. So.
Oh wait, are we?
Pretty much, dude, me and you, especially out of me being a Bengals fan, I shouldn't like Baker Mayfield as much as I do, but me and you are always talking up Baker Mayfield. So yeah, it's a Baker Mayfield stan podcast here.
Yeah, but the only thing is like there are Baker Mayfield stands that are like so like Baker Mayfield, they're anti Watson, and I'm not anti Watson.
Well,
I do
okay.
I do like Baker. I do like
Well,
Baker.
I'm
I do like Baker.
anti-Watson.
Oh yeah, fuck you.
But that's purely because of hatred. That's because of rivalry and pettiness. That's not because of any real like opinions about Deshaun Watson, honestly.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, here.
As far as who's the better quarterback, Deshaun Watson's probably the better quarterback.
This is the Baker Mayfield stand podcast. I will give you that. Tampa Bay. With that said, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay by touchdown.
Kirk Cousins? We were talking about how Kirk Cousins is all right earlier.
I say that Baker Mayfield is a slightly worse Kirk Cousins because I said Kirk Cousins the measure.
Yeah. No, well, Limitless earlier we were talking about how Kirk Cousins is pretty good.
For you guys who missed it, Kirk Cousins, to me, I think Kirk Cousins is like a measuring point for all quarterbacks right now. You either Kirk Cousins above or under. That's how I measure quarterbacks. So like there's for Kirk Cousins, like right here, and then there's Patrick Mahomes. Kirk Cousins ain't Patrick Mahomes, right? Joe Burrow's up there in that little tier, maybe a little bit lower than Patrick Mahomes or around it. But it's Kirk Cousins. But then Kirk Cousins is not as bad as Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew's not bad.
Yeah, but he's not.
You know who's really bad right now, and you know who's really bad right now, and I didn't necessarily expect him to be this bad, but I always talk shit about him, so like maybe I did expect him to be this bad. Is Daniel Jones? He's been horrible.
Yeah, he's bad.
He's been terrible.
Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones. Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford in his prime.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback, and he's number 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Kirk Cousins,
he's
Dak Prescott.
He's where you want to be as an NFL quarterback, but he's just barely where you want him to be. He's not particularly impressive, but he's definitely good enough for the Vikings to keep him around.
If you put Kirk Cousins on the 49ers, would they win the Super Bowl? Or could they win?
No, because I think Brock Purdy's just as good.
Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy.
Okay. Let me rephrase. If they're going to win it with Brock Purdy, then of course they would win with Kirk Cousins. But if they don't win it with Brock Purdy, I don't think Kirk Cousins does any better than Purdy would.
Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy.
I think it's pretty close. I mean, maybe Cousins is a little better than Purdy, but just because of experience.
But y'all see what I mean, though, with the Kirk Cousins thing. So
Mikey says Derek Carr is better,
Baker.
And like maybe, but he ain't playing.
Yeah,
right
he's
now,
like great. He's like great here.
Derek Carr, I think. I don't know. I might actually put out a video where I'm ranking all 32 NFL quarterbacks, but like off the top of my head, Derek Carr is probably like either 9 or 11. He's one of the two. I'm not sure which one right now.
9 or 11.
Yeah, but he doesn't play for the Jets. But
damn, man.
Okay. I'm trying to be disrespectful. All right, so next up we got the Commanders and the Eagles in Philly.
Give me the Eagles by 3 Philly cheesesteaks. Yeah.
Dude, Philly cheesesteaks are the bomb.
Yeah, they are. I had one today from Jersey Mike's. Shout out to Jersey Mike's.
Oh, I actually my daughter works for Jersey Mike's, but I don't know how. Well, I'm saying Philly cheesesteaks from Philly. Like if you go to Philly and get like a local Philly cheesesteak, it's one of the greatest like things you'll ever eat in your life.
I gotta do it. I haven't been to Philly yet.
My sister lives in Philly, so I've had quite an experience with it.
I've been in every single city on the East Coast besides Philly. Boston, New York, Charlotte. How did I miss Philly? I don't know how that's possible.
I think Philly. I've been to Philly more than just about any of them.
I don't know how I went to all the East Coast cities, but I don't know how I avoided that one.
I don't know. Just trying to avoid Pennsylvania in general.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, Eagles Commanders. Who you got?
Eagles
Yeah,
by 3 Phillies cheese sticks.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty much. Like, I mean, no disrespect to Sam Howell, but the Eagles are the fucking Eagles, man. Like, and they're
All
showing that
disrespect
they're
to
the
Sam
fucking
Howell.
Eagles.
All disrespect to Sam Howell. If we're doing the Kirk Cousins meter, this is Kirk Cousins. This is Sam Howell. This is Kirk Cousins. This is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts look nice, man.
Did Sam Howell's been all right this year?
Nice. Yeah, but he ain't no Jalen Hurts.
Well, I'm not saying he's any Jalen Hurts. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when I say no disrespect to Sam Howell, I mean I just mean I'm not. What I'm saying is like I'm not going to bet against Jalen Hurts. Like no disrespect to Sam Howell, but you ain't no Jalen Hurts. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, where do you put Jalen? Where do you put Sam Howell on the Kirk Cousins meter? Like down here?
It's hard to say because like this is his first year really starting, but
yeah, he is a rookie.
Yeah, like he's a rookie and he's better. I mean, he's not a rookie because he is his second year, I believe. But he's a rookie as far as starting goes. He's kind of like in the same idea that Jordan Love's a rookie.
Yeah.
Even though he's not, but he kind of is, you know. Why do I thought I put that on silent. Hold on. But I mean, like as far as the Kirk Cousins meter, which is really just like the list of NFL quarterbacks, like Sam Howell would be kind of in the unknown category for me. I think he's going to be probably like a mid-tier quarterback, like always hovering around. Like Limitless got a good point, like the Derek Carr, Sam Darnold area. Obviously Sam Darnold's fallen off quite a bit from like when Sam Darnold had like 1 year where he was actually pretty damn good. And like when Sam Darnold's playing well, he's not bad, but he's just so inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah. He turns a turnover machine too.
All right, so next up we got the Carolina Panthers hosting the Minnesota Vikings. What you got?
Oh damn. That's Vikings.
Vikings. All right.
Vikings. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings too, but like, I mean, the Vikings right now are doing more of what the Vikings should have been doing this whole time. Like just like last year, you know how they were had a bunch of wins last year and it made no sense, and then they got to the playoffs and they got destroyed. Yeah, so like the Vikings being 0-3 right now makes a lot more sense, and it's like the Vikings aren't as bad as 0-3. But they're definitely
not
much
as good as they were last year.
Yeah, they're definitely
last year. They started off last year like what, like 11-0 or something like that.
It wasn't 11-0, but it was like, I mean, they got off to a really good start. I think they only got to like 3-0 before they like lost their first game, but they were like the number 2 seed in the NFC last year.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy. All right, next up we got the Las Vegas Raiders. By the way, I'm taking the Vikings. I can't remember if I said that or not, but we got the Las Vegas Raiders and Los Angeles Chargers in LA. What you got?
Give me the Chargers barely, because the Chargers got problems. Both the teams got problems.
Both teams got head coaching problems.
I was just about to say that. It's just funny because it's just like philosophy problem. You can see that coach it's just making like dumbest mistakes. Just like, dude, give me the Chargers.
Yeah, Mikey's got the Raiders. Limitless got the Chargers. I'm gonna go with the Raiders, because
barely.
Obviously, barely. This is not going to be a.
No, I mean barely for me too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, still barely. I don't believe in either of these two teams, but I'm gonna go with the Raiders just because, like, I feel like if Josh McDaniels can get out of the way, that's a big if. But if Josh McDaniels can get out of the way, I think the Raiders are a better team than the Chargers are. But again, it's a big if. All right. We got the Patriots traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. And we thought the Cowboys were just this like big juggernaut team. Then they go and lose to the Cardinals. So maybe not.
Yeah. That was a very Cowboy loss. I lost money for that game. Thank you, Dallas. Give me the. Actually, you know what? I want the Cowboys.
Yeah.
In this game. Man, because I just think they'll have a bounce back game. They'll come back home. Weird stuff happens in the first couple of weeks of the season anyway. And we're in week 4. The teams are gonna start becoming who they are. And the Patriots aren't who they are at all. Well, they are who they are, but they aren't who they were.
Yeah.
And they are who they are.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. The Cowboys realistically shouldn't have lost to the Cardinals. There's no reason they should have. So I'm going to call that one probably a mulligan. Although I do definitely have some concern about the Cowboys after they lost to the Cardinals. But I just don't believe in the Patriots at all, man. Like I don't believe in Mac Jones. Never believed in Mac Jones. So I'm Mikey's saying Patriots, but only one. Only one. And Limitless agrees with you, by the way. Limitless agrees with you. He says Josh Dobbs is him.
Josh Dobbs, baby. I actually got the right now I'm actually got the Saints Packers game. I'm just watching Jordan Love just cut through the Saints defense to get that winning drive to take a 1-point lead. Shout out to Jordan Love. I know you don't like that, Mikey. I'm sorry, but Jordan Love did his thing. Jordan Love.
All right, next up we got the Cardinals and 49ers in San Francisco. So this one's going to be hard, Thomas, but try to come up with an answer here.
Man, see, look, you don't understand. Can the night Josh Dobbs, the scientist, can he beat the 49ers? This is a very tough one for me, man.
No, he can't.
Hey man, Josh Dobbs haven't looked bad, man. You know they got top 10 offense in Arizona right now. They do.
Cool.
It's a defense that sucks.
Going up against the 49ers offense, bro.
Hey. One thing you can say about Josh Dobbs, though, you can't say about Kyler Murray, is Josh Dobbs actually studies.
Well, that's great. So he might be better than Kyler Murray. But Kyler Murray sucks too.
I didn't say he's 7. I said that he's just 7.
He's
anyway, give me the 49ers.
But that's about it. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you.
He's played baseball. Kyler's played baseball.
He should have played like MLG or something like that. All he wants to do is
he's played baseball. He played video games and playing baseball. That's all they do with baseball. To play video games. He can literally play He can literally play video games during the game of baseball.
That's true. It's very true.
Go play baseball, Kyler Murray. Go play baseball. Your football career's over. Go play baseball. Go play football.
I mean, honestly, he
probably
will if like the Cardinals like decide to move on from him. He probably will go play baseball.
As well. I mean, it's not like you can't go play another pro sport and be good at it. He was pretty good at baseball. It's just you can make $100 million in baseball.
Yeah, but I think part of the reason he went to the NFL is because because Cliff Kingsbury was basically like, I'm going to make you the number 1 pick. And if you're going to be the number 1 overall pick, then
as a quarterback, you're
going to get, and then he got a second contract. So I mean, that dude got paid.
He didn't play bad. Yeah, I mean, no, it wasn't a bad decision. I'm saying, like, go play baseball when you're done. Like, if it was always like, if baseball didn't work out, you couldn't play football. But if football doesn't work out, you go play baseball.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to New York or New Jersey rather to play Zach Wilson's Jets.
Yeah, it's a hard game, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Is it?
You got Zach Wilson out here hitting Mills and everything, and then you got the Kansas City Chiefs with the Taylor Swift curse, man. By the way, Chiefs. But Robert Saleh is not a bad coach, but Chiefs and like I was thinking about the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing. Travis Kelsey's from Cleveland, and Travis Kelsey's mama is an Ohio University grad. Go Bobcats! Yo, so Art, so like it's crazy though because you got these Taylor Swift fans out here like, yeah, who is Travis Kelsey guy? Yeah, I mean, like, let's be real. Let's call a spade, man. They didn't know about Travis Kelsey until Taylor Swift dated him. Just like African Americans didn't know about Taylor Swift until Kanye West kicked her off the stage. Goes around in full circles. Just like my phone.
I was about to say. So wait, hold on.
You know
Let's
that joke,
rewind
brother?
for a second. You telling me Donna Kels went to OU?
Yes, you did.
Interesting. Donna Kels went to OU and Travis Kelsey went to UC. God, stop making me want to like you, Travis Kelsey. I hate you. Stop it.
Travis Kelsey's awesome.
Fuck Travis Kelsey.
Let's skip over the Kanye joke though. We're just gonna skip
But anyway,
over the
I'm
Kanye
taking
joke.
the Chiefs. I would love the Jets to win, but I'm taking the Chiefs. Obviously.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Chiefs. Yeah, and Taylor Swift gonna be on stage, cries and stuff, just chilling.
Yeah. All right. Seahawks traveling to Jersey to play the Giants.
That's an interesting one.
Ooh, Mikey picked the Jets. I hope you're right, Mikey.
That's an interesting game.
Oh,
You know, I'm gonna go with the Giants here. I'm gonna go with the Giants. I think New York gets that game. I'm gonna go with the Giants or the Seahawks. I don't know why. It's got this instinct.
Okay. Well, I'm not going
West
to go with
Coast.
the Seahawks. Daniel Jones has been asked this year, and
Man,
the
yes.
Seahawks haven't been like the Seahawks have been the Seahawks. You know, it's like they've been the same thing they were last
Yeah.
year. You know, they're good, but they're not like world beaters or anything like that.
Yeah, you know, but I don't know. It's that flight, long ass flight. It's kind of advantage not having to do that flight.
I mean, that's true, but I think the Seahawks are just a better team than the Giants.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's the Giants gonna find a way to squeak out. I don't know what it is. I mean, the Giants can't be that bad, right?
They're pretty bad.
They are pretty bad. I might change my mind later.
All right, so
I might change my mind.
let's move on to the AFC North games. We're going to start with the Steelers and the Texans. Who you got?
Man, the whole time I've been trying to talk myself into the Texans winning this game. And I'm still trying to talk myself into it. CJ Stroud didn't look bad last game. Talk about how say quarterback. CJ Stroud didn't look bad last game. But I mean, TJ Watt is true for real, man. You can't front on how good that dude is. What do you think? Out of curiosity, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to take the Texans, like honestly, and
Okay.
looks like Limitless agrees with me. But I'm going to take the Texans because like they impressed me against the Jaguars, and they came real close to. What was it? It obviously wasn't week 1 against the Ravens. Who'd they play week 2?
Who did they play week 2?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But I
But
mean,
the Texans, either way,
it.
the Texans impressed me against the Steelers. Not the Steelers. The Texans impressed me against the Jaguars. CJ Stroud has looked better than I thought he would.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in the Steelers. I really don't. Like they struggled with the damn Raiders. All right, so I'm gonna take the Texans with a bit of an upset here, but it's only an upset if you're like stuck in 2022 mentality.
Okay, you know what? Look, fine. I do it. I agree. I'm going Texas. Only because that would mean that if the picks the line correct, the Browns will be in first place.
Yeah.
Agree with that first place, even for a week. Come on, Texas.
Yeah, the Texans played the Colts in week 2, and it wasn't super close, but I still felt like it was, I still felt like they showed a little something against the Colts that they really capitalized on against the Jaguars. Obviously, week 1 against the Ravens was rough, but week 1 it tends to be rough for everybody. So But yeah, I'm going. I think the Texans take this game. I really do because I think the Texans kind of announced themselves as like, hey, we're a real team that you need to really actually pay attention to, and I think they do it against the Texans, against the Steelers this week. All right, so next up we're gonna go Bengals Titans. Bengals traveling to Tennessee to play the Titans.
We're not doing the Ravens game.
No, we're gonna do that one. We're doing that one last because it's two AFC.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm such a freaking idiot. We play the Ravens. Duh.
Yeah, we're doing that last.
Bengals. I don't know why I didn't think to myself, oh yeah, we play. This is how real I respect the Ravens right now, dude. I'm telling you, I do not believe the Ravens. Bengals.
Yeah, Mikey agrees with you.
Bengals.
Yep. I agree. Bengals. I agree. I think the Bengals. The only thing that concerns about me with the Titans is Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons could line up over Corell Wilson, and he could make Joe Burrow's life hell. But then again, that you could have said that about Aaron Donald, and the Bengals still won. So I think the Bengals looked like they were getting to a bit of a rhythm against the Titans or against the Rams. And then T. Higgins came out on Twitter after the game and said, I apologize. That was me. That was a terrible game for me. So I think if T. Higgins works his ass off and they get more of a rhythm this week, I think the Bengals offense could be, something to actually worth watching this week against a bad Titans team. So I'm gonna take the Bengals, and I hope I don't get my nuts stumped on by my favorite football team again. But we'll see. But I think they'll beat the Titans. And I think they'll beat the Cardinals too next week. And I think we'll have a 3-2 football team after starting 0-2.
Nice. Look at that. It's all just falls in. It's fall for you. Because we're gonna get our ass beat by the 49ers in 2 weeks. So we got them this week. Yep.
So yeah, let's go ahead and move on then to the most consequential game of the weekend as far as the AFC North is considered, and that's Browns hosting the Ravens. So I'm going to go first on this one, Thomas, because I'm going to leave you save the best for last, obviously on the Browns prediction. But I
wonder who I want to pick.
Well, we all know what you're going to pick, but my gut tells me the Browns. My brain tells me it's early in the season and the Ravens tend to do better in the early in the season, and I'm still not sold on Deshaun Watson. He had one good game, but I'm still not 100% sure. But my gut tells me the Browns, and when I'm conflicted, I usually go with my gut, so I'm going to go with the Browns.
So I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I just think the Browns defense is going to show up against the Ravens. I think they can give Lamar Jackson a lot of fits. I just don't think the Ravens defense is that good. Man, home for the Browns. That place is going to be rocking.
Yeah, the Ravens defense is all right, but not great for sure. They're kind of like a maybe.
I mean, honestly, think about it. I think that the thing is with the Browns, we played 3 really solid defenses. I mean, like the Titans defense isn't great because they're not good defender pass, but they're not. I mean, Titans defense don't have horrible defense. Still got a pretty solid defense. Put 20 points against them, and then you guys got a pretty good defense. So, I mean, played against 3 pretty solid defenses. So I mean, I'm not worried about the Ravens defense, honestly.
No. All right. Well, that's pretty much that's it for the weekly pick'em. So we'll obviously check back next week to see how the league's going. And like I said, if you want to join the league, links in the chat. Obviously, you're going to be a little behind on the number of picks, but it also goes off of percentage. So you should be fine to go ahead and check in now.
Yeah, it's too early. Go ahead and make some picks, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead. And let's see. Looks like Mikey. So I guess Thomas, you were the one who was 10-5. Mikey is 10-6.
All right, awesome. Look at that. Great mind think alike. I'm one game better than my Heat.
Sure, but you guys are both in last place, so.
No. Well, at least we're above 500.
It's true. All right. Actually, honestly,
by the way, if you can't be above 500 picking NFL games, then you probably myself.
Yeah, I will say, Galladees is actually dangerously close to 500 at 18-14. So, for what that's worth, I don't think Galladees picked last week though, because I haven't seen him in a little bit.
He'll be 4 games over 500 next week, or he'll be 8 games over 500 next week. Yeah, so it's kind of football.
All right.
I make so much money on FanDuel.
I think that's going to be it for this week for the Battle of Ohio podcast. But thank you for watching, everybody. You can always catch more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps, Butt Fumble Sports, the Battle of Ohio podcast, which is currently only on my channel, but I'm trying to get it back on the other channel. And eventually, I'm hoping to get an RSS feed so that we can have it in audio only form too. But it's just, got to get all this stuff together, right? Thomas, you can find more of what he does at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram, and the Thomas J Network on YouTube and TikTok. And speaking of TikTok, by the way, I opened up a TikTok, so go like me on TikTok, and you'll probably see. Yeah, you'll probably see pretty much the same like shorts that I post on YouTube, but it's another place to follow me.
Yeah. Hey, he's hip, y'all. Kyle is hip. And once he get 1,000 followers, we can start live streaming on TikTok.
Just call me Gen Z for Zizzle.
Yeah, don't do that. Please don't do that. Man, Gen Z is like, Gen Z pissed me off, man. I'd be like, man, come on, y'all. Like, Gen Z always making fun of millennials, like, oh, y'all wear skinny jeans. And I'd be like, hey, Gen Z, let's go beat up the boomers. They'd be like, no, y'all look cringy with this. Like, no, y'all look cringy with these dumbass dances. Gen Z.
I was about to say, that, like, first of all, I don't wear skinny jeans. Second of all, if skinny jeans compared to some of the shit that Gen Z does from a stylistic standpoint, like, fuck you.
Like Gen Z, I'm seeing disgust in that. Like, here's one thing that Gen Z don't have that we had. We had teased and bullied.
It's Kyle Phelps 92 on TikTok. Just so you know.
Yeah,
that's the name.
We got bullied. Y'all didn't get bullied, and it's obvious because y'all be doing anything on the internet. I be like, who need to bully these kids, man? Somebody bully these kids. Like everybody got bullied in our generation. It didn't matter if it was hot, ugly. LeBron James had a bully. LeBron James was 6'8", 219 pounds. He had a bully. His name was Delonte West.
I thought Delonte West was his father.
The funniest rumor ever. Oh, good night, y'all. Good night.
All right, that's it. I'll leave y'all, as always, with a hooday.
Go Browns.
I have no idea if it's actually. I'm gonna have to go into this after the fact